I know a lot of people are interested in how things are progressing. We're trying to get this subject of abuse into schools, colleges, universities, and even organisations. So let me give you an update on how things are going. Okay, so it's been a little while since I've given you an update on how things are progressing with this school proposal. About a month ago, I posted a video on my YouTube channel, which was giving you some of my initial thoughts with how I was going to run with this, how I was going to run with the task of getting this difficult subject of abuse into schools, colleges, universities, and even organisations. Now, a lot has been happening over the last month. I've been working very, very hard on this. And it's not just actually me working at my computer on this, trying to think of ideas. It's like I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm always thinking about how we're going to get into the schools and colleges. Because we've actually got to persuade and convince that the head teachers of the schools, as an example, that we can be trusted to present this subject to the students of their organisations. I feel like actually, just before we get into that, let's just continue on this path. So, if you haven't seen the first video that I released on the progress or my initial thoughts, please go and watch that as well, because that will give you kind of like the history. Let me tell you what some of the big changes that has happened since I posted that video. So I was putting together a presentation for schools. I split it into 3 presentations: schools, colleges, and adults and staff, so that I could go to the school with 3 options. So if the head teacher was like, I'm not too sure about this, I'd be like, well, we've got one for adults and staff that you can check out if you want to kind of test us before we go and present in front of your students. So that's what I was working. I was working these 3 presentations alongside each other, trying to work out the best ways that I can present this topic that's engaging, interesting for the audience, thought-provoking, and maybe even a call to action. That's how I'm summarizing it at the moment. So I started putting these presentations together, and it is a challenge. It is so difficult, honestly. The ones that I'm really struggling with is the younger people's ones, the schools and colleges. So schools would be 13 to 16 years old, and colleges is 16 to 18 here in England. They're the ones that I'm struggling with. I feel like it's actually really nerve-wracking to think about presenting in front of those age groups. Now, the age group that I have confidence in is the adults and staff. And so that is where I decided that I should focus my attention. I should focus my attention on creating the adults one first. So I started putting that together. And then I thought, well, actually, if I'm going to go to an organisation, let's say, and say, look, I've got this subject. It's really important. I've got a presentation about it. I've tried to do it in an engaging way, etc. And it's an hour long. Organisations are going to be like, number one, that's a tricky subject and a sensitive topic. I don't feel very encouraged to bring you into my organisation to present. Number two, if it's an hour long, that's a long time for me to bring all of my staff out of their work. And number 3, have you got any like testimonials or a portfolio of where you've spoken already? And those last questions are the most significant ones, because we haven't done this yet. We haven't presented yet. If I'm going to go to an organisation and I've spoken at 5 other organisations, that's when things become a little bit easier, especially if I've got like testimonials from those organizations explaining how the presentation was insightful or encouraging or interesting, etc. So to get those first bookings is really, really difficult. That's the most difficult. So I thought that a good idea would be to split that adults presentation, to give 3 versions for the adults presentation. Number 1 would be a half an hour taster, if you like. Number 2 would be the full 60 minutes. And number 3 would be the 60 minutes plus a 30-minute live Q&A, an Ask Me Anything Q&A. Now that seems like a good strategy. It seems like a good strategy. Let me explain more. Let me explain more about that. Because the focus currently, where I'm focusing all of my time with this presentation development, is the adults. If I can break into organizations, then I can start to build a portfolio. I can also then test what's working and what's not working. I can understand what's working and what's not working. And then I can have some evidence of my speaking events, and I can have some confidence with the content, and I can start creating in the background the ones for schools and colleges using that information that I'm gathering from performing in front of adults, because I feel like the children and the teenagers is the hard one to crack. So how can I just go to those ages first? I don't think that would be the best approach. So again, let me summarize. I start speaking in front of adults. I learn from those speaking arrangements. I get feedback, and I start in the background. I'm creating the ones for schools and colleges. Now, once I've spoken at 10 organizations, then I can go to the schools. I can go to the head teacher and be like, look, I've been performing this for about 3 months now. I've got a version for students. And what do you reckon? Look, I've got all these testimonials. We've got this portfolio of events, blah, blah, blah. So then it gives them confidence, because no head teacher is going to say, yeah, you know what? We'll give you a try. Come and speak in front of our young people about this tricky topic where we're probably going to be triggering people. We're probably going to be speaking in front of people who are going through something at the time, and they may disclose to us after. Like, this is an intense subject. And when I say, by the way, let me just add something. We're going to be triggering people. For anybody that's like, well, you shouldn't be triggering people. Triggering people is unavoidable. Unavoidable. And if you're interested in my views on trigger warnings and the reasons why I don't use trigger warnings, there is a video on my YouTube channel about that. Okay, you can check that out. So this is the strategy that we have now. So I've been putting together the presentation for adults. I've been putting together the 30-minute presentation for adults. And I have sent it now out to charities. I thought, well, surely if anyone is going to be happy to hear us out, if anybody is going to be accepting that this is the first time that we're going to be presenting this, please just give us a chance. It's going to be other charities that are doing the same thing that myself and the charity that I'm working for are aiming for. So surely they're going to be more forgiving with bringing us in. I say us, for anybody that doesn't know, I am working on this in collaboration with a charity called Taupe Line Support. Now, just quickly, this is a charity that work in the Suffolk and Norfolk area here in England, and they support teenagers, teenagers 13 to 18 years old who are currently going through an abusive situation or are struggling with the memories of one. They are a free service, a free professional service that teenagers can call, text, web chat, and get advice. They can approach this charity anonymously as well. So they're doing fantastic things. They have hired me to do this. Okay, so this is an incredible move. They are also paying me, thank goodness, because I am always looking to generate funds, because everything that I'm doing, the YouTube channel, the content on the Instagram page, the website, the videos that you're seeing, they're all costing me money, and I need to bring some income to help me so that I can live, right? If you want to help out with that, please, if you have any spare money, if you've been following a little while and you want to support this cause, please go to my website. There's a donate button there. Please use it, because all of those donations are put back into the content creation. So lots and lots happening. So that's a little bit about the charity that I'm in collaboration with, trying to get into schools, colleges, organizations. So I sent out an email because I've got the 30-minute presentation ready, right? When I say ready, it's obviously at its infancy, but it's good enough to present. I feel confident enough to present with it. So I've sent it out now and let me just get the spreadsheet up, so that you can see how this is working as well. 1 second. Booking spreadsheet. Okay. So I have sent it to 47 charities in the local area so far. And if I sort, I've got 4 bookings. I've got 4 bookings. Can you see that? 3 in May and 1 in July. 4 bookings for the 30-minute presentation. This is called success. Okay, so by the end of this month, I'm recording this on the 6th of May. You're probably seeing it a couple of weeks later because it takes some time to edit. I'm paying a guy called Chamara, who's an excellent, young, enthusiastic guy from Sri Lanka. He is editing these videos for me. And he is enthusiastic, passionate about trying to get these difficult topics out. Again, right? Again, I am paying him for his time. He's a freelancer. These people need to be paid. If you want to help with paying these people that are helping me create this content, please do go to my website and donate. I need to get these things into these videos now. I feel like I need to start pushing all of the different aspects of this project now. It's not just about discussion. We need to build. We need to build momentum, and I need your help for that. No doubt about it. So we got 4 bookings. Incredible. So they're happening in May. Now, they are all signed up for the 2 30-minute presentations. There's a Q&A session in there. There's a 60-minute presentation. There's a 15-minute introduction. Now, I'm going to start using the presentation here. And as soon as I present, I'm going to learn. Because I'm going to know in my own self what's working and what's not. And I tell you why I can do that with confidence. For anyone that doesn't know, I started all of this on the open mic scene in London when I took my story public, right? I took my story public and it was all on the open mic scene in London. Now, if you've never been to an open mic event before, it is somewhere where you can turn up on the door. It's an event, usually in a pub or a bar or a hall, and you can sign up and you get 5 minutes on stage to perform what you want. It could be singing, and playing an instrument, storytelling, poets, etc., etc. Now that's where I started speaking my story in public. Now, very interestingly, let's just quickly go to my first video on YouTube, which, if you've never seen it, please do check it out. Look at this YouTube channel, by the way. Just look at the YouTube channel at a minute. It is fire, is what it is. Okay, listen to this, right? This is the first time I ever spoke out in public on open mic nights in London. Let's just play this quickly. Just play the first minute of it, right?
I'm going to start speaking at open mic nights and communicating my thoughts and my views on the subject of childhood sexual abuse. And I'm also going to use the stage to begin expressing where I'm at on my journey working through the abuse I suffered as a young child. I feel this is a really important thing to do and it's absolutely necessary, and I'm at the kind of stage where I feel confident now to do this. I think that it's going to help me progress as a person, but also I think one of the beautiful things that can come from it is to open an opportunity for anybody that's listening to take whatever they need from it. And if that's a lift of any sort, then that will be a true blessing.
Okay, come on. When I watch that, I feel so proud, you know. Things have come so far from this day. Things have come so far. But my point is, every time I was doing one of these performances, I was learning what's working and what's not. I was learning about that. It was so quick to realize when you're on stage or you're performing or you're presenting, what even as I'm presenting, I'm like, no, that's weak, or that didn't flow properly. So this is what I'm gonna be doing with these bookings, these 4 bookings that I've got here in May. And I'm talking to a couple more charities that are interested, so I'm hoping the bookings will continue going upwards. I'm going to learn what's working and what's not in this 30-minute presentation. I'm then going to extend it to 60 minutes. I have an idea on how to do that. I'm going to offer the Q&A all the time to these organisations. Ask me anything Q&A, right? I do that once a month on Instagram. Again, let's just quickly check this out. I just want to tell you about everything today. If you go to my homepage on my YouTube channel, let's just get rid of this. Right, you got every month I'm doing a live Q&A on Instagram. You can see them here, right? You can see them here, and that's given me the confidence to be able to take any questions. I've done 8 episodes of those, one a month. So that's 8 months I've been running that, and it's given me the confidence to be like, yeah, come ask me anything. And I feel like for organisations, for charities with teams of people, hopefully we can get into councils where there's social worker organisations where people are desperate to ask these questions. I feel like that offering that in addition to the presentation is another great selling point. Okay, so feels like we're getting some momentum here, right? We got 4 bookings for the half an hour presentation and a couple of Q&A sessions thrown in there. I'm going to perform them. I'm going to present. I'm going to find out what's weak. I'm going to strengthen the presentation. And in the background, I'm going to be taking all of the strongest points from that presentation. And I'm going to be creating the ones for the teenagers. I'm going to be creating the ones for the children. Now, whilst that is all bubbling in the background, we're getting a portfolio together. Every time I present to an organisation or a charity, I'm going to ask them to give me feedback. Of course, I'm going to ask them to give me feedback to help me improve the presentation. But also, I'd like a testimonial. Now I start listing the testimonials. I start getting the testimonials together. I take a few pictures when I'm at the event, and then I can build a portfolio. Now, here in England, the schools finish for summer holidays in around 4 or 5 weeks. They're off for 6 weeks. So they'll be returning back to school. I believe it's in September. They return back to school. Something like that. But anyway, by the time they return back to school, I've got this portfolio of events that I've spoken at. I have got a presentation for 13 to 16 year olds, 16 to 18 year olds, and I'm going to the school and I'm like, here you go, check this out. We are a reputable, respected, reliable source of information, and we have a presentation for your staff, for the parents at your school if you want to organise that, and for the teenagers in your school and college. And it is proven, it is interactive, it is engaging, it is insightful, it's thought-provoking. Bring me on. Bring me on. That's the kind of thing that I'm after. Now, this approach is the complete reverse of the approach that you will see I presented in my first school presentation video that I posted on my YouTube channel. It's the reverse, because first I was all about getting in front of the kids, right? And then we can work to adults, when that is not strategically, and that's not the correct way to do it. I need to go the reverse way. Now, that does mean that I'm going to reach the young people later, but that's just kind of the sacrifice we're going to have to make, because obviously the young people are, well, actually, you know what? Everyone's important. Everyone's important. Because actually, I'm going to be presenting in front of adults, and there's definitely going to be, let's say I'm presenting in front of a team of 10 people, there is going to be at least one person that went through verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, or sexual abuse that changed their life. Simple. That's fact. That's fact. So, I feel like it's a really great aim. We got the correct strategy. Topeline Support, the charity, which I'm going to put the details in the link in the description box. They are supporting me, straight up supporting. Every time I speak to the CEO, Fiona, she's like, yes, excellent. Keep going, keep going. And who knows where this is going to go? Because once I've presented 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, this thing just starts to really get refined into something that's incredible. Because I'm confident with that, because every time I was performing on the open mic stage, and again, if you do go to my YouTube channel and go all the way to the bottom, and you're going to see those performances. There's like 10 there. How many are there? If I go to the playlist. Yeah, there's like 7, 8. There's like 11 or 12 open mic performances. If you watch them in sequence, you're going to see how things changed. You're going to see how things progressed at a rapid rate, You're going to see I started using music. I started doing all sorts of creative things. That's what I can do on this. And you never know where it's going to go. It could be a real event. We can start throwing events all around the world. Imagine, you've got to aim for these things. Okay, so I hope that has given you another update. I hope you enjoyed that, because I'm feeling so energized by this. I hope that gives you like the latest of where we're at the moment. And every now and again that big changes happen, I'll make one of these school presentation videos, because I want to bring you along for the journey. I was speaking with someone at the weekend, and they were asking me, like, you know, how can I improve my following on social media? And I had a look through their pages, and they're doing great work. But my advice to anyone is take people along for the journey, the highs, the lows, the energizing bits, the deflating bits. And that's what I want to try to do with everybody here. That's what I want to try to do with everybody that's following my pages. I want us all to go on this journey together. It's like a mission, and it's very, very inspiring and encouraging and motivating. Thank you so much for listening.